Welcome to the WION podcast, where we explore fascinating stories and ideas from various fields. In this episode, we uncover how India's AI ambitions rest on foreign chips, private clouds, and corporate control, raising urgent questions about digital sovereignty, national security, and who truly owns the country's technological future. India's artificial intelligence ambitions rest on a foundation the government doesn't own, built with hardware it can't manufacture, and controlled by private companies operating foreign technology. As the AI Impact Summit convenes at Bharat Mandapam this week, this uncomfortable reality goes beneath the celebratory announcements. Who actually controls the infrastructure powering India's AI future? The answer is corporate, concentrated, and dependent. The Ministry of Electronics and IT announced in mid-2025 that India's national compute capacity had crossed around 34,000 GPUs, more than 3 times the India AI mission's original target of about 10,000. Impressive on paper, this figure is problematic in practice. Every single GPU in that pool is foreign silicon. NVIDIA H100 and L40S accelerators, AMD chips, and Google TPUs dominate the infrastructure. All are imported, and all are subject to foreign export controls and geopolitical calculations that could shift overnight. More than half of this national capacity is controlled by a single private company, Yotta Data Services. Yotta has committed over 9,000 advanced GPUs to the India AI mission through its Shakti cloud platform, and explicitly states that it will provide more than 50% of the mission's total GPU capacity, delivered in phases under commercial contracts the public cannot read. The government calls these empaneled GPUs, a term that obscures ownership. These are not state assets. They are private sector capacity, approved for India AI workloads under commercial arrangements. The India AI Compute Portal functions as a marketplace where researchers and startups access GPUs through the platform, but the hardware belongs to cloud providers who bill for usage. This model allowed rapid scaling without the government building data centers itself, but it also means India's AI capability depends entirely on commercial relationships with firms whose primary obligation is to shareholders, not national strategy. If Yotta faces technical failure, financial trouble, or supply disruptions, more than half of India's AI compute capacity could go dark. If United States export policy shifts, as it has dramatically against China, India's GPU pipeline could be cut at the source. India has launched a semiconductor manufacturing program worth roughly 75,000 crore rupees. The 2026-27 budget includes around 1,000 crore rupees for India Semiconductor Mission 2.0, targeting equipment production and supply chain development. But budget documents reveal serious execution delays. The semiconductor program spent only about 600 crore rupees in 2024-25 against an estimated allocation of nearly 7,000 crore, representing less than 10% utilization. The India AI mission itself shows even larger gaps. Out of an estimated 550 crore rupees, actual expenditure was only around 20 crore, barely 3%. No operational semiconductor fabrication facility capable of producing AI-class chips exists in India. Government documents show these programs remain in the incentive and project approval phase rather than active production. Even under optimistic assumptions, domestic manufacturing of AI-grade chips is many years, possibly decades, away from cutting-edge nodes. The summit's institutional architecture further deepens corporate influence. Participant lists include Google, Microsoft, Meta, IBM, OpenAI, and DeepMind, alongside Indian companies such as Infosys, TCS, Reliance, and Bharti. These corporations sit on multi-stakeholder working groups shaping AI policy, standards, and deployment. They provide the cloud platforms, foundation models, and developer tools most Indian AI practitioners use. The Ministry of Agriculture's Digital Agriculture Mission includes partnerships with Cisco, Geo Platforms, ITC, and NCDEX for AI deployment. Valuable collaborations that also ensure agricultural AI flows through corporate channels. 4 Indian startups, Sarvam AI, Socket AI, Gnani AI, and GAN AI, were selected to build indigenous foundation models under India AI. However, they access computing power through the same marketplace dominated by large providers. They train on foreign GPUs and build on frameworks such as PyTorch and TensorFlow, created by Meta and Google. The architecture gives startups visibility but keeps them structurally dependent on infrastructure they do not control. So who controls India's AI? At the hardware layer, foreign manufacturers such as NVIDIA, AMD, and Google dominate, subject to their home government's export rules. At the infrastructure layer, private cloud providers dominate, with Yotta holding a majority position. At the platform layer, global technology companies and Indian conglomerates provide cloud services and foundation models. At the application layer, Indian startups and researchers build on infrastructure they do not own, using tools they did not create, running on chips they cannot manufacture. At the policy layer, the government sets broad direction but lacks the technical capacity and budget execution speed to build alternatives. The government frequently cites Bhashini, India's national language AI platform, as proof of sovereignty. The framing is accurate but incomplete. Bhashini is Indian-designed software serving Indian goals and running on Indian-operated infrastructure. But that infrastructure executes on NVIDIA H100 GPUs manufactured abroad and subject to United States licensing. Data sovereignty and access sovereignty exist. Hardware sovereignty does not. As ministers cut ribbons at Bharat Mandapam, critical governance questions remain unanswered. How will India prevent Yotta or any dominant provider from using market position to set pricing or restrict access? What happens if GPU export restrictions hit India, as they have China? Will semiconductor programs deliver operational fabrication plants? And when? Should the government mandate ownership diversification to reduce concentration risk? The summit will showcase real achievements. India has mobilized resources and created frameworks that did not exist 5 years ago. But the fundamental architecture remains one of dependency, sovereign in aspiration, corporate in execution, and foreign in silicon. India's AI runs on NVIDIA's chips, in Yotta's data centers, shaped by Google's frameworks, and governed by contracts the public cannot read. The sovereignty is rhetorical. The control is corporate. The silicon is foreign. That is the infrastructure reality behind Make AI in India. Thanks for tuning into this incredible story. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more captivating stories to come. Stay tuned.